There is this misconception, especially in friendships, where a lot of people feel like they don't take effort.
When one person is always carrying the relationship, they're the strong one. They're the one that, has the answers. They're the one has to be controlled and be focused, but you get to just wild out and do whatever you want and say whatever you want. No, it needs to be like, I'm there for you. You're there for me. We help each other. You understand what I'm saying? You have to adjust those relationships for your well-being. You lose a parent, you lose a child, you lose somebody, you're grieving. You don't have it. You're just in a tough season. But there's a difference between seasons and patterns. Like this is...
You better talk about it. If you're having to juggle a lot, you're not the only one juggling a lot.
I want to I always did it first. I always initiated. I always made sure it happened. Now you've created this dynamic in your friendships where they don't feel like they have to show up for you. They feel like you're good.
They feel like you're good.
You've created a relationship that you don't get what you need in. They do love you and care about you, but they are used to functioning as the one that does nothing and receives everything.
We really sometimes confuse like that loyalty with self-sacrifice. Because loyalty without boundaries is self-abandonment.
Ooh, maybe you thought y'all were closer because you did all the work. Sometimes you're doing this because you like to be in control. Don't plan it this time.
Don't ever feel like you're wrong for wanting mutual effort in your friendship.
Yes. You deserve that.
You deserve it.
You never know what they're going to say until you have that conversation. Yeah. If y'all really love each other and care about each other, y'all can start over.
Now y'all know anybody can call you a friend. But not everybody shows up. So if you're down with the fake connection, Friendship University is the place to be. To learn, to grow, to laugh and build your community. Don't wait another minute, we're about to start. Don't listen, cause we're coming from the heart. Grab a break, grab a pen, cause we're back again. With the laugh and the lesson, sit down cause class is in session.
Welcome back to another episode of the
Friendship University Podcast.
The number one podcast for learning how to get the friendships you really want. We are so happy to be here with you another week. I'm Christan and I'm joined by my lovely co-host Tarrah. I'm loving it, loving the leopard, the layering, got a little black.
You know what it makes me feel like?
Does it make you feel like a cheetah girl?
Yes, I love that. Cheetah girls.
Cheetah sisters.
It reminds me of an iconic TV personality. You too. Your look too. Fran Drescher.
Really?
That's who I'm feeling. I'm feeling very. She's the nanny, and she's the nanny, and when everybody else is wearing tan. The fashion girl from Freshing, the nanny named Fran. Did we not watch that growing up?
Loved it. Loved her.
Mr. Sheffield. And she used to wear her hair like this and like that.
Really big
really
and
messy and
curls,
leopard print vibes.
Volume.
Really
loved that.
Yeah,
I loved her.
She was an icon.
She was an icon, and I think it later came out that her and Regine from Living Single, they wore a lot of the same.
It's very much Regine. I feel very Regine-ish today.
They had very similar styles, and they were even called in some of the same outfits.
Yeah,
kind of like dressed in their own little particular ways, but some of the same pieces. So that's really cool. I love the nanny. Love Living Single. So.
It was just like the nanny Fran's entrance was always iconic because she'd have walked down that stairwell.
She was always coming into the doorway. Yeah, for sure. Well, I'll take that. Iconic is what we're going for today.
I love the updo, the earrings, everything. So cute.
I'm feeling the Jilly from Philly glasses.
Yes,
they're doing something. The big frames. I see why they like to wear them.
Yeah.
At first I thought it was like, this is maybe a little too much for my face, but
your vibe. It's a vibe today.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe for sure. So welcome back to all of our listeners, new and old. We're so thankful to have you here. Drop a comment below to let us know if this is your first time listening in, and us what episode brought you here or who brought you here. And if nobody brought you here, bring somebody else here. If you didn't bring anybody here, bring somebody here. How about everybody just bring somebody? So like, comment, share, subscribe, and share with the 2 closest people to you because we can all use it.
For real.
For real, for real, for real.
That part.
That part. Now we're about to get into a friendship court. All right, we are now in friendship court with the Honorable Judge Tarrah presiding. You all may take your seats. Court is now in session. Your Honor, in today's docket, we have the case.
I just love being called Your Honor, but go ahead, continue.
You're welcome. I think in some countries they call it Your Majesty.
I love that as well. So you may call me Your Majesty if you like.
Your Majesty. In the case of Donovan versus Tim, charge of being a lopsided friend. It's today's docket. Donovan plaintiff has a friend, Tim, the defendant, who always dominates conversations, makes everything about them, and rarely asks how Donovan plaintiff is doing unless it loops back to himself somehow. Donovan, the plaintiff, still cares about Tim, defendant, but Donovan, the plaintiff, often feels like he's walking away from the hangouts feeling drained. Does Donovan, the plaintiff, talk to Tim, defendant? Does the plaintiff distance himself? Donovan, the plaintiff, does not know how to move in this. So in the case of Donovan versus Tim on the charge of being a lopsided friend, how do you find the defendant? And following your ruling, how would you proceed to tell Donovan to move forward?
That's an interesting, counselor. Interesting one. I'm really going to have to think long and hard about this one.
Yep.
Long and hard. All right. I've thought about it long and hard enough. I've considered everything he shared with me about the plaintiff and how he finds himself in a situation where he's not being heard, not being checked on, not being asked about, because Tim frankly just monopolizes the conversation with all things about him. It's not about mutually sharing and caring of conversation, or just even checking from Tim's point of view or perspective. And I will have to rule in favor of the plaintiff. And my ruling is that way because we have to take into consideration that everything doesn't revolve around us, and we have to be considerate in our friendships and make sure that they are not just one-sided, but a two-way street.
Two-way street. You all heard it.
Two-way street. You heard it again.
You heard it again. Ladies and gentlemen, here first.
And I would rule, I think that the plaintiff must have a conversation in love and let Tim know that, I'm sorry, brother, but it's just important that we mutually share what's going on, that you also ask questions about me and I ask questions about him. And it's important that we have an attitude of teaching each other how to treat each other and what our needs are. So maybe Tim honestly just doesn't know. Maybe he was an only child. Maybe he was the favorite child and nobody really asked about anyone else. We never know, but we have to give him an opportunity to change. And that's my ruling. I rule in favor of the plaintiff once again.
You all heard it here. That's the ruling. And you have been assigned, Donovan, to have a conversation with Tim.
Now it's time to take out the trash, take out the trash, take out the trash right now. Take out the trash, take out the trash. Take out the trash right now. Ooh.
Yeah. This is the part of class where we talk about the things that have helped us clean up the mess in our lives. So this week I have something very simple. You know, we got kind of deep last week, and if you didn't see it, go back and watch
Go
it.
back.
Okay, you owe it to yourself to see what we had
Truly.
to say about decluttering and taking out the trash within yourself. This week, I thought we could talk about spending time in silence.
Ooh, my God.
Now, you hear that, and oftentimes, you know, it's like, yeah, just become one with yourself and meditate, or even pray, or, you know, just do everything but actually be in silence. I mean, actually sit in a moment. I don't even want you to really go into reflection mode. I don't want you to go into deep thought mode. I want you to sit down, find somewhere, preferably maybe in your house or your car, because sometimes when you try to go on walks and be silent, it's still car sounds, still people around. No, I want you to find the quietest spot you can and sit there for as long as possible. There's something that happens to the brain. It's almost a reset when you really are in true silence. And I know for some people that can be scary because it's like, well, I'm in my head a lot. I have a lot of thoughts and, you know, XYZ. So I don't know how to be silent. But I promise you, the more you do it, the easier it will become.
Wow.
It's so... The word I'm looking for, I don't even know. I don't even know how to describe it. Some days it's truly a decompression that happens with your mind. You can sometimes almost feel, at least I can, the tension flow out of you when you just sit down. Just don't think about anything. Don't look at anything. Don't say anything. Just sit there. And like I said, I know sometimes it can be a little intimidating.
Yeah.
For sure. But practice it. I didn't start off being able to sit in silence. Although I am someone who can sit in silence. I'm also very talkative. I like interacting with people. I'm a very people person. So even when I would like sit in silence, I would think about like, oh, I'm just going to write, or I'm going to reflect, I'm going to do this. And then, you know, one day I just was sitting and I wasn't thinking about anything. And then before I knew it, I think maybe like, I didn't go to sleep. I didn't do any of that. And maybe like 10 or 15 minutes had gone by and I felt so rejuvenated.
Wow. I have to work on that.
Yeah. It was like, woo, what is that? Like, what was that? So, yeah, my encouragement to you is at some point this week, try to find yourself a quiet place. And I'm not saying it can be easy. I know we got parents watching. We got people who got family. You may be in a very busy, hectic. So I'm just encouraging you to find whatever space you can for however long you can. And take a moment to just sit in silence. And that is the trash we're taking out this week, which is sound.
Distraction. I think
Distraction.
that is the trash.
True.
Like distraction, constantly feeling the need to consume and see something and have a dopamine hit and, you know, be in the know and be, you know, doing something, performing, you know, always performing, always wanting. So I love that you shared that not doing something, because we usually even say, okay, I'm going to do it to get what?
Yeah.
But just the fact that you were able to reset and feel rejuvenated and feel recalibrated, I think is good. I don't think we were meant to constantly hear this noise of media, of sound, of television, of social media, of, you know, I just don't think we were built for that.
Yeah.
And I think it's affecting us more than we could ever recognize or know.
Completely agree.
You know, and it's just like, oh, I feel so overwhelmed all the time. I feel so overstimulated all the time. It's like, yeah, you think like we are constantly being distracted and talked to and talked at and communicated to. And so I just don't think we were supposed to live like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I completely agree. And I'll just say this one last thing. There is another kind of time that I experience a rejuvenation when I sit in the silence in the presence of the Lord. Mm-hmm. Now, sometimes it's not the same because the Lord will talk back or say things, and it's kind of like that. But have you ever like had a moment where you've been in worship and then it just kind of gets quiet, and you're not even like singing the worship song in your head anymore? You just kind of just sitting there.
It's just nothing,
and it like feels like there's this permeating like cloud.
Mm-hmm. Like you feel lighter. Yeah, for sure.
It's it could kind of be a little similar to that, like just sitting down and clearing your head.
I love to just sit in silence. Well, it's actually not silence. It's as close to silence you can get, but outside.
Yeah, that's a good,
because the sounds you do hear are nature.
Yeah.
Which is a different type of sound. I don't know how to explain it, but it's calming to my nervous system. And I think that's why everybody feels such anxiety and angst and pressure and all of this, because we're constantly feeding ourselves, things that make us feel like we have to perform versus just taking the time to be present in our bodies and just present. Like, just breathe and just be in a moment of stillness.
Stillness is really what it is.
Stillness.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
I agree. I think I will say that, like, if you can't find somewhere quieter than, a space or whatever, nature is great.
Yeah, it does something to me.
You can definitely go out. Those sounds do also cause similar feelings of alleviation and reset and rejuvenation for sure.
Man, just calming. Like, even in just a walk where you just sit on the bench, nothingness. And I know this is kind of dangerous to do, but I remember going through a really tough time. I was really struggling, just like with where I was in life, and I had this habit where I would go on these walks and I would take a seat on the bench and I would just sit there until I felt better. I'm like, I'm not going back until I have come to some resolve. I didn't try to think my way through. I just sat. So, stillness.
Yeah.
Silence. Those are powerful tools.
Same.
Free tools.
Free
99 that you can do.
So yeah, encouraging.
Classes in session.
You ever been in a friendship where you feel like you're the one who's like always checking in?
Yeah, it's kind of like the one that does all the plans, make sure everything's happening, and responsible for making sure you show up and everybody shows up.
Yeah, you I guess you think it's fine. Maybe that's just your role in the friendship, right? That's just what you do. You the check in, you make sure everybody's okay. But
deep down, you tired. You're tired of it.
You're tired of it. Let's talk about uneven effort in friendship. So there is this misconception I've found, especially in friendships, where a lot of people feel like they don't take effort. And I have no idea where that notion came from, or why you would feel like a friendship is any different than any other relationship you have in your life. So we wanted to talk today about effort and why all relationships require them and what it looks like when it's a balance in that effort. So why don't we start with, why do all relationships require effort? Every healthy relationship needs intention. And this is not necessarily like perfection or you always doing everything perfectly or always showing up in the right way, but participation, essentially. I know we've all been in group projects before, and it's like you got one or two.
That one person that don't contribute.
You like, so I got to do my work and your work
and
too.
your work. It's unfair.
I could punch you in the face right now. Like,
We don't
for
support
real.
violence, but the feeling is there.
Yeah, we don't support violence. I'm gonna go with that. That's true. So I want you to think about effort as a means of communication. Like, this is how we tell people, I care. You're important to me.
Very
I
much
see
so.
this is important to you. So it's also important to me because you're important to me. All of this matters. And so when effort is mutual, friendships often have that, what they're supposed to have, that euphoric, energizing feeling.
Yeah.
Of, it's like, man, I can't wait to hang out with my friend. I can't wait to talk to
Fills
them.
my cup. We're
Right.
gonna have a time. We're gonna kiki. We're gonna laugh. We're gonna tell stories. We're gonna catch up.
But it's like, when it feels one-sided, you are so adverse to even wanting to talk to them sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, it makes you just feel so drained. It's like, I don't want to answer the phone. I don't want to answer this text message. I don't even want to meet up with them because I know it's going to be 5 hours of everything that has happened to them. And, and I want to say, like, sometimes that is okay. But if every time we get together, I think you said something so funny a couple of episodes ago. You were like, have some self-awareness. Because if you've told 5 stories at this point, and the other person hasn't gotten one in, not one,
Not a one.
what are we doing here? I don't know.
Too much. Yeah, and I get it. Like, sometimes, you are in a tough season, right?
Yeah.
A tough season where things are hard and you need a shoulder to cry on. You need your friend. You need to, like, be able to pour your heart out and have somebody
carrying.
comfort you. And you're just in a tough season. But there's a difference between seasons and patterns. Like, this is
You better talk about it, because a pattern, get into it.
into it.
Get into it.
Into it I am getting.
Thank you. You may go.
Because there's a difference between you go through a rough season, like
Yeah.
you get divorced, you have an illness, it's a new job, or you lose a job, or
You lose a relationship.
you go through a breakup, or somebody's grieving. These are tough seasons where you need your friend to be there for you. You know what I'm saying? Versus, like, this is you all the time.
I am never up.
You never
just
up.
never up.
It's always you, the center of attention, right? It's the world revolves around you, and there's no reciprocity in the conversation, right?
Must you order the sizzling fajitas at every event? My gosh. Like, every time you love fajitas that much, you just got to order it.
I'm just saying, like, when one person is always carrying the relationship, they're the strong one. They're the one that, has the answers. They're the one has to be controlled and be focused, but you get to just wild out and do whatever you want to say, whatever you want. No, it needs to be like, I'm there for you. You're there for me. We help each other. You understand what I'm saying? So that's it. That's serious. That's a serious issue.
It is a serious issue, and I think it's important to note that one time, okay, 2 times, perhaps, 3 times, we are entering pattern zone. Now it's like, okay, and this isn't like, I want to be clear and say, you're not just going to have one season in life. Like, it's going to be rotating for sure.
For sure.
But if over the last 10 years, it's like...
Decade? No ups?
No ups.
All downs?
Or even like in everything that's been going on, you ain't been able to show up for not one person. You know what I'm saying? Because I know some people can have a rough 10 years. It can happen. Yeah, but I feel like there are pockets and moments where it's like, I can do this today.
Okay, so, and then it's just because you're going through, and I'm not saying like immense grief, but I'm saying just because you're having life is lifing doesn't give you the excuse to like never show up for your friends.
Yeah, because if you're having to juggle a lot, you're not the only one juggling a lot.
I want to you just are on fire. You're not the only one.
And I loved how you said, like, people can often look at the person who's always there and willing to pick up the pieces or lending helping hand, lend a open ear as like the strong friend. We have had several conversations about being the strong friend and you know what that looks like and what it shouldn't look like. But we really sometimes confuse like that loyalty with self-sacrifice. And it's like a lot of us are taught that loyalty is us putting ourselves always to the side and saying yes no matter what, overextending ourselves. And like some of us take almost a little bit of pride in being that person.
Yes,
it's
that
like
fulfilling that role.
Yeah. And it's like, then it comes to a point where it's like, man, I really need to be able to lean on someone.
And now,
but I have made myself the crutch for every single person. So how do I lean on you when I have become your crutch?
Woo! Because I have created this dynamic myself.
Yeah.
I have participated in playing this role, and making people believe I don't have needs.
Yep. Because loyalty without boundaries is self-abandonment.
Ooh. My God today. Yeah, that part. Say it again.
Loyalty without boundaries is self-abandonment.
Yeah, because you need boundaries. Boundaries protect you. You know what I'm saying? And so to act like you don't have needs because somebody else is going through, you can't always be the one that shows up and they never show up for you. It has to be some mutuality, because there's going to be times in your life when you need a friend too. When you cannot be the strong one.
Not all the time.
You lose a parent, you lose a child, you lose somebody, you're grieving. You don't have it. And now you've created this dynamic in your friendships where they don't feel like they have to show up for you. They don't.
That's
they
good.
feel like
they
you're
don't
good.
They feel like you're good.
They feel like you're good. Oh, she know how to handle herself. And you're not good. And so now they don't even know how to be there for you because you've never given them the opportunity to.
You've never spoken up about your needs.
Yes.
We've talked about standards. We've talked about emotional intelligence. You never communicated these things.
But why do we do that? Because playing that role, being that strong person, being that person that it presents themselves as no needs, it's vulnerable to have needs.
Absolutely.
Because what if they don't meet them? Now I'm disappointed. At least when I didn't have any needs, I wasn't disappointed. I didn't feel rejected. I didn't feel abandoned. But when I have needs and then you don't show up, man, I would rather just not have needs.
But this is what's gonna happen, because you think you're protecting yourself, and it's like, well, I'm not gonna be vulnerable, but now I can't trust anybody. I got resentment.
Yeah, you resent them, but it was your decision.
It was
that created that dynamic. Part. So if you are one of those friends where it's like, man, I don't have anybody I can lean on, I don't have anyone I can call on, it's because you present yourself as someone who doesn't need friendship in that way. And you haven't opened yourself up. You haven't allowed yourself to receive that type of friendship. And so what do you do with that?
So let's talk about how you address uneven effort. You really got to be honest with yourself.
Ooh, that every week.
Every week is just really honesty.
It is the same theme. You got to start with honesty.
Honesty with self.
Honesty
with self. And I love how you talked about how some people can't create that dynamic because this is now my identity, and nobody can meet my needs because I presented myself as no needs McGee. Like, I don't need nobody. I'm good.
Let's get to the root of that, though. And I think we'll talk about this more in further episodes. But what is the fear there? What is the fear that if I have a need and I present that to my friend, Why do I function like this in my friendships?
That's a great question. I think another question is for the individual who maybe doesn't necessarily show up in the way that they're so strong, but is afraid to change the dynamic in the sense of they don't feel like that person would want to be in community with them anymore if I'm not allowed to dump on you. If I'm not allowed to, I should be able to call you and talk about anything all the time though. Like, yes, we can deal with your issues and everything, but it doesn't have to be every single time. And there are certain individuals who are like, I would rather just have somebody to talk to and let them do this every single time versus opening my mouth and saying, I really feel like I'm not able to voice when I'm going through something or having the support when I feel like I need it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think sometimes we can underestimate the power of friendship in that way.
Yeah, that's true.
Because your friend doesn't mind sharing, and I'm not saying tell all your business, but doesn't mind saying, hey man, I'm going through. Can we talk? Can we go out? Can we pray? But you are not willing to admit when you need that. And so you don't reap the benefits of that community.
I see that.
You don't reap the benefits of that support. You don't reap the benefits of somebody having your back or praying for you or just thinking about you and sending you a $20 for some ice cream. You know what I'm saying? Just because they know you love it. Just because they know it will make your day. But they didn't know that you were going through. So you robbed them of the opportunity to be support for you.
So either way, when you don't speak up and you don't really show up in honesty, it all circles back to you not allowing that individual the opportunity to show up.
The opportunity. You didn't even give them a chance. They could. Maybe they could.
Yeah.
But you've created this lopsided dynamic.
So instead of working in honesty, you have essentially created a falsehood in your mind.
Wow. Yeah. You've created a relationship that you don't get what you need in.
Wow.
Because you were not operating in a heart of vulnerability or transparency, honesty, and allowing yourself to receive from another individual. So next thing we have to address this. We have to communicate.
Yep.
That's another thing we talk about every week.
Communication. Ring, ring goes the telephone.
Oh, I have to have these hard conversations. I have to say what's on my heart. I have to say it in a way that's respectful.
Yeah.
Not in a way that blames the other person. Own your stuff and say, you know what? I've been holding back from you. I've been holding things in, and I haven't, had the courage to tell you how I really feel. But I'm feeling like I'm not getting what I need, but I know I'm part of that problem. And I haven't even given you the opportunity to be present for me in that way.
Yeah. Wow. I think the next thing we have to do is stop over functioning. So what that looks like is, again, going back to honesty and talking about whether that imbalance is because maybe we're compensating for something, fear, whatever the case may be. And then based on that clarification, begin to, after you have the conversation, pull back a little gently, start to step back and give the person the space to show up.
The space to show up. No, don't plan it this time. Just give a suggestion. Hey, I would love for us to hang out.
And that can be scary. It really,
especially if you like to be in control. Ding, 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 ding. Janet Jackson. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, Sometimes you're doing this because you like to be in control. You want things to go your way.
Yep.
You want the restaurant to be the one you pick.
Yeah.
You want the outing to be this way or at this level. And the other person's like, yeah, I don't have to do anything because they're going to do it.
But if we're going to say like actions speak louder than words, then you have to give people the opportunity to show up, and you have to let the actions in the relationship speak for themselves.
Yes. So you have to give space, like in friendship court, had to pull back some and see what their actions are gonna say about the relationship. Maybe you thought y'all were closer because you did all the work, and maybe when you took a step back, you realized they were not invested, or they do love you and care about you, but they are used to functioning as the one that does nothing and receives everything.
Which there are individuals that they have not really had to do much in life in the sense of that kind of effort.
Yeah. And have you ever been around someone who you try to help them and they're like, no, do it this way. No, it's got to be like this. No, it's like, and then you're like, well, do it yourself.
Child, I'm not gonna argue with you about whether this cup goes at the top of the bottom of the dishwasher.
Do it yourself.
Okay.
So
do you want the dishes clean or not?
Yeah. So you have to understand, take a look at yourself, right? And say, okay, what is my role in this? Have they made an effort to try to do it, and maybe it just wasn't up to my
standards? We talked about standards and preferences.
Right? What I would like, and so I wouldn't allow them to show up in that way, or maybe they haven't showed up in that way because I always did it first. I always initiated. I always made sure it happened. And so when I took a step back, I was holding it together and it all fell to pieces. So you have to take a look at that and realize that once we have to have that conversation and communicate, hey, maybe I think I created this dynamic and it's not good for me. Yeah. And I can own that. I can own that and say, I did too much.
Hey, hi, is this a safe space? I was the strong friend that created that dynamic.
I did that.
Yeah. And I had to, hey man, I'm falling apart.
Yeah. And I can't handle it. And what I really need is something where we both contribute, where we both have effort, where sometimes you plan it, sometimes I plan it.
Right.
And I promise I won't judge your plans. I promise I won't try to, do it for you. I will let you do it.
Barricade my way in, bombard
and control and to take over. I'm going to let you do your thing. And I think that we have to define what this should look like. Relationship moving forward and start over.
You got to trust people to do that, essentially.
If it's worth it.
You have to execute a level of trust.
Yeah. Once we talk about what do we want our friendship to look like. What I know what we used to do. I used to do everything. You did nothing. But moving forward, or I did most of the planning. That's too much for me. I'm going through a season of my life. I can't do it like that anymore. Yeah. What I really need and what I would like it to look like moving forward is this, and this. What do you think about that? Oh yeah, I always wanted to do stuff, but you just initiated it, and so I just let you. It seemed like you wanted to do it. Seemed like it, it made sense for you. So yes, but I would love to. You never know what they're going to say until you have that conversation. And if y'all really love each other and care about each other, y'all can start over. Let's start over.
That's great.
Let's start over. Woo! You can always start over if both people are willing to.
That's true. So I would say it's just, don't ever feel like you're wrong for wanting mutual effort in your friendship.
Yes. You deserve that.
You deserve it.
You deserve that. You deserve that. You're worthy of that. You're worthy of somebody pouring into you, loving you, considering you. Yeah. Thinking of you, going out of their way for you, like you go out of your way for other people all the time.
You have to consider yourself first.
You have to, yes.
And let them know, hey. and that it's okay
Yes.
that I'm considering myself.
But sometimes we will take something over nothing, even if it's not fully what we want.
Yeah, that's very
If
true.
it doesn't fully fit, do what function as we would want it to, we feel like it should,
Yeah.
we'll just take something
That's
over
what I
nothing.
was saying earlier.
And it's not right.
It's not right.
God, like, when God talks to you, I don't know about you, but when I'm in my relationship with God, he never talks to me like, you okay.
Yeah, that's true.
You're my second best child.
Right.
Yeah, I don't really think he's fully invested. He's always telling me how much he loves me through his word. Like, I'm worth it. I was worth somebody dying for me.
Yup.
I was worth a life. I was worth.
Girl.
I'm not this nobody. So when we take and subject ourselves to that kind of treatment and that kind of engage in that kind of relationship, it erodes your self-esteem. I don't care what you say.
I can
You
see
doing
that.
and
I
doing
can
and not
definitely
getting
see that.
anything back. Somewhere in your mind, you believe you don't deserve or you are not worthy of it.
Yeah.
And so you have to adjust those relationships for your well-being.
Yeah.
For your well-being. I know so many parents who regret not maintaining their friendships when they had families.
Ooh, yeah.
They're like, I no longer did what I love to do. I no longer showed up for myself or took care of myself. Like, don't do that.
Yeah. That's so true.
But that was your choice, though. You didn't fight and make it a standard. No, I go see my friends at this time, and that's a standard for me.
Yeah.
And you need to respect that.
And sometimes I love that you said fight, because sometimes you will have to fight.
You will
for
have
it.
to fight.
You might have to.
You may have to
really
fight.
Say no.
And depending on your family dynamic or the people that are around you, everybody doesn't have the same values as you.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't value your friendships. You might look at other people in your family. They might not have no friends. How they gonna tell you how to maintain a friendship? You don't have no friends at all.
How you gonna tell me that person don't care about me when you ain't got nobody?
So you have to check the fruit and check the root, and who's giving you this advice, because you have to pay attention.
Yeah.
It's important. Everybody doesn't have the same standards and the same values for life. If you value friendship, if friendships pours into your cup, you value mutually beneficial friendships, then you have to fight for that. You have to tell people and have boundaries to protect what you love.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's so true. That's so true. I love that. I think this week's homework assignment, let's do a balance check. Let's choose. You might not have
this
multiple.
is heavy.
It's a little.
Y'all, yeah.
You might
Go
not
ahead.
have multiples. If you do have multiple people, you can continue on week over week. But start out with one friendship for the week, an entire week, and track who starts the conversations, each conversation, who makes the plans, who simply checks in. And then after these conversations, after these check-ins, how do you feel after them? Are you neutral, energized, drained? And then in your reflection, start thinking about, is it mostly balanced, uneven, take into account, I know that this person's going through a tough time. This is a tough season. So, yes, this week was off, or maybe these couple of weeks have been a little like me showing up a bit more, but I can recount, no, they have been there for me.
Yeah, and I think when you say, when you look at those draining, those feelings, really dig into what is it about this that's draining to me? Is it because they are asking me questions I don't want to answer?
Now that's good. That's good. I didn't even think about that, but yeah.
Are they kind of telling me truths I don't want to hear? So it's like, oh, I don't want to hear about that. That's draining to me. And check the motive. Like, are they being malicious in what they're doing, or are they trying to help you?
Help. and be there for you.
And be there for you. But
As
it
a
makes you
support
uncomfortable.
system, but it makes you uncomfortable.
So when you check these feelings, kind of also check the motive as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. I love that. Thanks. Yeah, so that's this week's homework assignment, and it's gonna take you the full week. So
Yeah,
Godspeed.
this is a real one.
You have anything else to add to the class?
Yeah, that's it. I think we said enough.
Okay, well, until next class, y'all.
Peace.